Hello, everybody in YouTube, for another exciting Call of Cthulhu Red Hall themed one-shot for our channel. Thank you for everyone for the support on the previous episodes. If you like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments. Anytime someone says, hey, I like this and Red Hall's cool, I am an angel and I get my wings, and it's great. Of course, I'm also a demon, so like they're devil wings, so like, you know, you might want to slow down and not say it that
Demons
much.
are just Satan's angels. It's fine.
This
Honestly,
one shot is called The Poetry of Magnus Barna. So it's like that, you could tell off the title of this one shot that like that's the kind of vibe we're getting into. We have 5 wonderful characters. Before we get into this, can I just get a 1-sentence, really short summary of all the characters, starting with Megan?
My character is Olivia Barnes. She goes by Liv. She is British, and she's actually from Red Hall, but she's got a British accent because of her parents, and she's a police detective.
Cool. Marshall.
My name is Paul Matthews. I'm an accountant who's lived in Red Hall his entire life, but have kept my head down in the books. I've never really seen anything strange happening, and I haven't really lived that much in my life.
Sick. Eric.
Hi, I'm Alex Peters, and I'm the local librarian. Lived here my whole life.
Sick. Nathan.
My name is Greg Morrison. I'm a single father of 2, and I work at the grocery store and at the gas station to make ends meet to take care of my daughter.
Nice. James.
My name is Frederick Schonborn. I am from Germany. I've lived in Red Hall for many years now, and I am recovering from an illness that I just couldn't quite get diagnosed, and I am a master painter.
Nice. And I am Justin, the Keeper. Today's episode starts at Barnaby's Bookshop, a small bookshop on the north side of Red Hall. This is a book club of 5 people that pulled the strip of paper from the piece of paper plastered on a wall at a rec center somewhere in the city to answer, do you want to read more literature? Come to Barnaby's Bookshop. The bookshop itself is dusty, frequently traveled, however. Old books line all the walls. And at night, as you guys meet, it's about 7 o'clock at night. Actually, you meet at 7. It's 9 o'clock now. The book club is done. There is a small table of goodies and snacks, coffee that Barnaby has laid out. Barnaby spent the time talking about the book that you guys just read, a young adult fiction novel turned adult fiction about a woman in Red Hall who fell in love with a man in her dreams. It was called Malice, and overall, it was only okay. However, getting out of the house, conversing with some people about books, arts, literature, your thoughts, your feelings, was an exciting escape from whatever was ailing you at the time. As I said, the book club meeting is done, and everyone's just kind of enjoying the snacks as Barnaby is at the register, kind of just mulling about. But otherwise, where is everyone kind of at this moment? Like, what are you guys all doing?
I'm eating snacks right now.
Yeah, Frederick's probably on his 4th cup of coffee.
Olivia is lingering kind of between the counter and the door. She's trying to decide if she should stay or if she should go.
Greg's drinking coffee and perusing the books.
I'm trying to finish the book. I didn't finish the book.
Just, Alex, don't. Nick. It is not very good. Not worth your time.
But I started it. It's really hard not to finish a book, you know, even when it's bad.
I really liked it, to be honest. I thought it had a lot of twists and turns.
I honestly, I didn't finish it.
I did. It wasn't worth it.
Mm.
Honestly.
I'm gonna bow to social pressure, and I'm just gonna close the book and prepare to read it later at home.
As you guys are having this conversation, as the book closes in Alex's hand and he holds it, I imagine, kind of like this, Barnaby looks up and says, I feel a little strange to ask this, but you guys are the only ones who I figured would be... I figured that I could ask. I'm missing a book that's very important to me. And I was hoping that somebody could maybe look into... He motions to you, Olivia. That somebody could maybe look into this.
Have you made a formal report yet?
Well, no, it was lent to a friend of mine. And I haven't heard from him in some time. 3 weeks.
So it's a missing persons case then?
Yeah, he's not necessarily... He does this. He vanishes for periods of time. But he knows how important that book is to me and just how important that book is. If you understand what I'm saying.
I'm not entirely sure I do, no. What is the title of this book?
There's no title. It's just a plain book of poetry written by somebody.
And who's this friend?
His name is Richard Killman. He's he peruses the bookstore often. He's a good guy. I've known him for a long time, and he's someone you can trust. I don't think anything malicious has happened. I am just worried about him and the book.
Understandably.
Did you want me to see if I could get the library to call around? Maybe see if we can find you another copy or something?
No. There's only one copy of this book. It's
so like a local.
Yes. It's a local book of poetry by a man who... It's a book of poems, that's all.
Barnaby, why won't you tell us who wrote this book?
Oh, well, okay, I can tell you. You won't know the name. His name is Magnus Barna. He is a former citizen of Red Hall.
I see.
Yes.
And he didn't bother to title his book of poems.
No.
I suppose that's fair. And he only wrote one published copy?
Well, yes, one...
He's pulled out a notebook and is writing all of this down.
Yes, one copy of the book. That's why it's so special. It's easy to miss. He pulls out a small little book like that's this big hardcover, green cover. Nothing on the front, the side, the spine. It's nothing. It's just a blank book. And he says, just something plain like this. You would miss it more often than you'd find it.
And how should we know that we've found the specific book you're looking for? Is there an identifying feature of some sort? Or just look for the man and we will find the book?
Yes, once you start flipping through the pages, I'm sure you'll piece it together that this is a book of poems. There's not much more to it.
Is there like... did the author put his name on like the TP verso or anything? Like it'll be... Oh, okay. I mean, that's going to be... Yeah, sure. We can probably find it.
What about this poetry? I mean, is it a certain style of expression?
It's very traditional. It's Richard, it has a structure that you can find in all of his poems where it's just the same kind of flow, page after page. Like, once you get through, you flip through the first few pages, and you'll know.
Okay.
And do you have the address of this Richard Killman?
He does. He lives on the east side, and it gives you a little apartment building.
Ooh,
Sweet.
I don't get to the east side very often these days.
And that's a good thing. The east side is very run down in Red Hall. It's kind of the grungiest part of the city. It's also where a lot of the refineries are. It's kind of like the part of the city that's kind of been forgotten and left aside, and like, you don't want to say like walled off and left to die, but that's the vibe you get from it.
And you say he's been missing for about 3 weeks, or
Yeah,
that's the last
yes,
time
I
you
haven't heard from
him?
him in 3 weeks. Yeah.
And this book, is it of any value to anyone else other than you? Would he have stolen it or tried to sell it or anything along those lines?
It has a very special value that is not monetary, yes. And that's why if you get the book, you should just check the first few poems, but don't read further.
Oh, so we don't like damage the spine because it's like a collector's item?
Yes.
Are we sure it's
Okay.
not because the poetry is as bad as this last book you recommended?
Featuring locals, as you would agree, Frederick, is very important in Red Hall's creation.
That's true.
What's the first poem so that we can recognize it?
I wish I knew, friend. I wish I knew.
You've never read the book yourself?
No, I haven't, no.
Curious.
There's lots of books that you just keep in like a plastic case if they're old. It's like an archival thing.
Alex, as always, understands it. He knows exactly what's up.
Well, it's
Well,
not
he
a
is a
plastic.
librarian.
Yeah, it's not normally a plastic case. I lied. It's usually a cardboard box. You keep it off the ground and in a cool room in the dark.
Yes, this book is from my personal collection. It's not for sale here.
You've
Okay.
never read it.
No,
May
no,
I
I've not.
Okay.
ask why you lent it to him to begin with?
Richard Killman has a very special interest that he shares with Mr. Barna.
Poetry.
Poetry, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Justin.
Yes,
can
James?
I know you said I wouldn't have heard of it, and I probably wouldn't have, but I do have a 50 in history, and I am a local artist. Could I roll and see if like it rings a bell?
You will have not heard of this book.
Okay.
Would he have heard of the author?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Not even from the Great Magnus Massacre. No, I'm joking. Of course.
Oh yeah, the murder of Magnus Barna 3 years ago.
Well,
Didn't he drive a tank?
Well, I'm not sure if this is the most stimulating of errands to be sent on, but if it means I don't have to go home alone again tonight, I'm up for a little adventure.
Well, I mean, it's not a lot to go on, but I certainly would accept the
Do you really
company.
need all 5 of us to?
I don't, absolutely. If
I'm not
if
going
anyone
to
doesn't
the
want to
east side
come-
alone.
Oh no, I was just wondering if there's a particular reason you brought it up to all 5 of us, Barnaby, instead of just the officer there.
I know how the city of Red Hall is, and I know that sometimes things are better looked into as a group. I don't expect all 5 of you to go, but if, for example, Olivia and Paul felt it was of interest, I would be eternally grateful. And just to spice it up, if anyone who brings it back, I will give you $50 credit at the store.
I'm in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That really tickles my feathers.
A team building activity, then, isn't it? All right. Well, we haven't got much to go on, but I can certainly look into it, especially with this team of intrepid adventurers I have gathered around me, Barnaby. I think it will work out just fine.
And Olivia, he motions, he says, can I speak to Olivia alone for a second?
I'm gonna get up and leave.
I grab some snacks off the table and walk away.
I'm going to get another cup of coffee and walk out.
I'm gonna also refill my coffee and leave.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with Paul because him and I are kind of weird friends.
Yep.
Olivia, I want to just warn you that while not as crazy as some of the other things you might have heard, there are some aspects of this that concern me.
It sounds that way.
If you find Rick, he'll be able to explain more.
All right.
And I would also just stress to the others that sometimes the strange parts of this city show under the right light.
All right. I shall do my best to communicate that.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Barnaby.
You too.
I shall see you next meeting.
Yes,
If not
yes. Of note, you guys also have left with a small book that's called, like, The River and the Willows for
Nice.
the next book club meeting. If you guys are all outside, Olivia comes out like 30 seconds after.
I don't think I'm gonna
All
like
right.
this.
You don't think you're going to like this?
The next book, I'm pretty sure I've read it. It's not very good.
Oh, that's
a shame.
exciting. Barnaby needs to
know.
recommend better books.
I'm feeling optimistic about this one. Not sure why. Anyways, I would be happy to carpool over to the east side if anyone would like to, or would you like to all take your own vehicles?
I take transit, so a ride would be much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Do you mean in like a cop car?
I'm afraid I don't have my cop car with me this evening.
Shucks.
I
Alright.
can
Just my personal
take you,
vehicle.
Greg, I can take you for a ride in my Ford Escort if you want.
You're the most boring human being I've ever met.
I'd
Alex still wants to
appreciate
be
the
friends with
company.
you. I guess I'll ride with Olivia because it'd be weird if we all carpooled after Olivia offered and we all took someone else's car. It'd be kind of
I
weird.
will not be offended either way. It's simply
Where's your car?
My car?
No, Olivia.
it's parked like just down the street from the store, like
Shotgun.
right here.
I'll ride with Paul then.
Okay. I'm parked at the McDonald's across the street.
Do you want to grab something before we go?
No, I'm pretty full, and I like pat my belly.
Okay. Sure. Cool.
I'll
What month is this? Are there Shamrock
just-
Shakes currently?
Yes, it's March.
Ooh,
Oh, baby.
that changes things.
I'll just take my own car, I guess.
Are you gonna be okay?
Me? Yeah.
What kind of
Just-
group are we right now?
Only in fucking Red Hall, in the midst of an investigation, does someone go Shamrock Shakes. That changes things. Only in fucking Red Hall.
Maybe it's the key to this whole investigation. You
It's
don't know.
gonna be. We're gonna open up that shake, and the fifth poem is gonna be in there.
I just want to point something out. Barnaby did say this book had a undistinct green cover.
Oh, interesting.
They're
The
piecing
Shamrock.
together the secret epilogue quicker than I thought.
We're gonna make an epilogue, Justin. It's gonna be even a secret to you.
Yep. Everyone
It's just gonna be all of
Epilogue
us
is
getting
just
Shamrock Shakes.
Yeah, like the end of the first Avengers movie, just all of us sitting there
Yep.
sipping on Shamrock Shakes.
Olivia in the background fighting a monster.
I'm going to take
Yeah.
a step of liberty as a player here and say, because the East Side's so run down and poor, I probably have like an art studio there that I
fair.
definitely don't live in.
You probably have one more in the Rose District. That's where more of that kind of property would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that close to the East Side?
It's south of it.
Dang.
I will pass the address off to the other two drivers and
Thank you.
be on my way.
The streets of Red Hall, as they always are at night, is covered in rain. The street lights, because the sun sets early out there in March, I'd wager. As you guys are
Reasonable.
driving through in the dark, you weave through the east side, reaching your destination, which is a lone standing apartment building next to a field with a locked up batting cage. Otherwise, it is quiet and still at this time of night, with a few streetlights still with their orange glow, not replaced with the new white lights, making East Side feel particularly untouched at night compared to other parts in the city. His unit number is in the address as well, so you would know which one to buzz if there weren't names on the thing.
Did Barnaby mention that he had tried to reach out to this gentleman? Why would he just send us looking?
I mean, I would assume that he has, but he just hasn't heard from him. I don't know why he would send us and he wouldn't look for it himself, but...
It sounds, gentlemen, like this person is missing, and this address is simply the first place that we get to look for him. It's not usually something that is very easy when requested by an individual with a missing person and a missing object.
Liv, don't you find it odd that he's only concerned about the book and not the man himself?
How long have you lived in Red Hall?
I don't know. 15 years?
Have you ever experienced any of the oddities that go on around this city? Any of you, really?
When you mentioned that, Greg kind of just goes,
What do you mean? Like the high crime rate in this area?
I've noticed a lack of civility and interest in the finer things, and that's about it.
Yeah, we don't have a good arts program.
Well,
you haven't heard about... never mind.
I think... Liv, I must show you one of my works later. I think you'll find it interesting.
Sure thing, Frederick. She full on takes that as like awkward flirting, and like that is a hard rebuff.
I went, he's a serial killer. My first thought was he's a serial killer. That was...
Yeah.
No flirting intended there.
I know it's not. Liv's taking it as flirting.
I mean,
self-centered.
Desperate, actually.
It would be cool if you gave us a tour of your art gallery, because, I mean, we all hang out during book club, but that we don't have to stop hanging out when book club ends. Like, we could all grab drinks or check out art or like go on walks.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
I mean, if I'm not working, sure. I usually work a couple of hours after.
The
Book
fun
club ends.
thing I have found with Paul is most things entertain him.
Frederick, you're right about that.
I'm really starting to feel like Frederick's definitely a serial killer. Let's keep going.
And I'm his first victim.
So, back to the oddities of the city. Let's just say, if you start to look for certain
Things.
abnormal things.
Unnatural shapes where they shouldn't be. Angles that just make you uncomfortable.
Sorry, did
think
you say
ghost
angles or ankles?
angles.
Cool. Just checking.
Ghost cars. You see a car driving and you look in the window and it's like there's no one there because of the reflection.
Have you heard about these Chinese
deepest-
murder vans?
Fucking poll. I forgot about Ghost Car. Oh my god, that just brought me back. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Tell me more about these ghost cars. I haven't noticed anything about that.
You just see them driving around and there's no one driving them, or so you think.
Isn't that what people call an unmarked police car? A ghost car?
Oh, cool.
You would be the
Okay.
authority on that, Liv.
So
Maybe it's
the
police.
cops are ghosts. Interesting.
Anyways, we're
not what I
diverting from
was
the
saying.
point entirely.
Okay.
This scenario that Barnaby has laid out before us could perhaps have elements that are not what they would have seen. In fact, he said something along the lines of explaining to you all that the strange parts of this city shine under the right light.
Is that some kind of poetry?
Something like
Definitely
that.
a metaphor.
Yes.
Right.
Or is it a simile?
Oh, I know that. I took English class. Yeah.
Is this like some kind of like, is the book club still going? Is Barnaby putting us on a like ghost tour of Red Hall? Is that what this is?
Maybe he's trying to inspire us to write a book for the club.
Oh, that would be
That-
cool.
That's a different kind of club, isn't it? That's not really a book club then. That's a scavenger hunt club.
I went on scavenger hunts with scouts. It wasn't just a scavenger hunt club.
I didn't sign up for that if that's what this is turning into. I mean,
I think that all of it is simply look at this as a team building activity, if you'd like, for the book club, or simply assisting a member of our community if you prefer.
okay. How do we go about that now?
Well, we start by ringing the buzzer. Yeah,
Do you ring the buzzer?
and I do. I do, yes.
Bzzz. After a few seconds, you hear a voice say, "Yeah."
Hello, is this Mr. Killman, Richard Killman?
Yeah.
My name is Detective Barnes from the Red Hall Police Department.
I'm Greg.
I'm here on some unofficial business. Just looking to speak with you if you have a moment. May I come up?
After a pause, you hear the grrrt of the door, signifying that it is ready to be opened.
I open the door.
Wait, do we all come up, or should some of us wait downstairs?
Well, I mean, you can all come if you want. Barnaby did invite all of us to do this.
Paul, are you scared what you might find?
I mean, if I buzzed someone into my place and there were 3 extra people that were unannounced, I would feel...
3. Yeah,
Three.
math.
Yeah, I would feel pretty uncomfortable about that.
You can't
Paul is
outcount
smarter
the
than he
accountant.
looks. Yeah.
I have an 80 in accounting.
I'm sorry. He's just so boring that I forgot he was even
I'm
here.
gonna stay down here with Paul and smoke cigarettes while we wait.
I'm just gonna blow the smoke away.
Please use like one of those like e-cigarettes so that it's like not as bad.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come up because apparently I'm coming up.
Sure.
Great.
Got him coming up.
It's up the second floor. There's the winding stairs that go up there, the long hallways with flickering, sickly yellow lights, and the hum of just like a heating system that doesn't quite work right. And you find his door. When you knock, he opens it. Richard Killman is an unkempt man who is currently sitting in a slightly stained white unbuttoned shirt with a black shirt underneath and jeans. And most notably, he is sporting what looks to be a healing black eye. When you guys enter, when he opens the door, he kind of just turns with a cigarette in his hand and moves and sits on the couch near the window.
I step in, but I don't sit anywhere.
Yeah, his house is also pretty dirty, too.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Killman. It's a pleasant surprise to find you in your home. We heard you were missing.
Who told you that?
A friend of yours, Barnaby from Barnaby's books.
Good guy. Good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
I absolutely agree. He said that you perhaps had a book of his that he was hoping to get back.
Yeah.
Would we be able to retrieve that from you?
Unfortunately, no. A little over a week ago, he counts you guys as he speaks this. 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, broke into my apartment, and they took the book from me. Then he motions to his the bruise on his face.
That's a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
And sorry, how long ago was this?
Just over a week ago.
1 week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what did these people look like? Were you able to get a description?
I know them. I've seen them before.
Who were they?
They were from one of the services at the Assembly of Hope on the east side over here.
The Assembly of Hope.
Yeah, it's a church.
And why would they want a book of poetry?
What did Barnaby tell you about the book?
He was very not forthcoming, shall we say.
Classic Barnaby. That book's very special to a good chunk of people, myself included. He told you, just a book of poems? And did he tell you not to read it?
We shouldn't read.
Yeah. Yeah. That book is a piece of fucking art.
Many books are works of art.
You start reading it. That book is a key to something that people want to understand. How many of you guys have dreamed before? And I mean truly fucking dreamed.
What do you mean by that?
Have you been somewhere else when you've been dreaming? Just briefly, you wake up and it feels so fucking real.
Yes.
Yeah.
They tend to be more like nightmares, but sure.
Yeah, they start as nightmares. They do. But you can learn to control it. And the book helps you do that. That book is written by a man named Magnus Barna. He's missing, but he's not gone. He's still writing that book actively as you're reading it. There's a poem for everyone in that fucking book. When you read it, he's looking back at you. He sees you and he writes a piece just for you. When you keep digging deeper, you find exactly what you need. The insight that fucking just connects you to this other side. Being able to actively dream and enter it. There's more than one way to fucking dream in this city, man. You go to bed and sometimes you just wander in, right? Other times, you can fucking force your way in. And when you do, you can start changing things.
Changing your dreams.
No. You can change the city if you start dreaming good enough. Magnus Barna, he's fucking doing that. You have to start small. That's what he's doing with his book. He is actively dreaming and changing the entire fucking book. He controls it as he's dreaming, man.
Do you?
And sorry, go ahead.
No, it's
Greg.
fine. It's fine.
No, absolutely. I'm interested in what you have to say.
Oh, I was. Do you partake in recreational substances?
I get it, man. It sounds fucking crazy.
A bit.
I assure you. You know what? You go to the service at the Hope Assembly. Make sure you go after dark. They might have one tonight, they might not. It's not open during the day for this kind of service. The three people who came in... Sorry?
What is the sort of service that is different than the daytime?
I won't spoil you. It's all related to dreaming, man. This other entry point. And these three, I'm worried what they'll do with the book.
Do you have names for these three individuals, or just know what they look like?
I went to the service once. It's not for me. But I recognize them from it.
That.
I know they were there. One of them, he was bald. He's the one that fucking did this. He was angry.
And the other two? The other man and the other woman?
Spindly looking guy. He wears, what's the kind of shirt, the collared shirt that everyone fucking wears?
A dress shirt?
No.
A polo?
Yeah. And then the woman, she was younger, maybe like 30. She had red hair.
A redhead.
But if you guys want something, if you want to really... If you find that book, bring it to me before you bring it to Barnaby.
And why would we do that?
Because I'll let you read it.
What did, if you can change things with your dreams, what did you change?
Oh, I haven't changed anything. Man, there's consequences when you venture in without the proper knowledge. Little things can come through. They can, you leave like a fragment of something.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's above me too, man. That's why I'm reading the book in hopes of learning that maybe Magnus can show me the way.
Okay.
Well, we'll be in touch, I think, one way or the other.
God.
And I hope your eye heals up quite nicely.
Thank you.
Have a pleasant evening, and I'll leave my card. If you think of anything else you'd like to share, give me a call.
Sounds good.
And I'll head out.
Just gonna hand Paul this drawing I did of him while we were waiting.
Wow, you really captured the squareness of my face.
I don't know if does that show. There we go.
Mhm.
Yes, and the sadness in your eyes.
At least someone sees it.
After about like probably 7 minutes, the other 3 come down from the apartment building.
Holy shit. Your life sucks.
All right, gentlemen. Have either of you heard of the Assembly of Hope? It's apparently a church.
Justin, is that something we would have heard of?
Are you guys religious?
Let me see. I don't know. Do we
I
have
was
a religious
briefly,
story?
but it didn't work out.
It's a church on the east side, so you probably, if you are religious, would go to a better church.
Yeah, probably.
Valid.
No, I can't. I don't. No.
Nope.
Nine.
Well, it sounds like that is where we will be heading next. It is our lead, if you will.
Cool.
What did
So
he say?
that this guy didn't have the book.
No, apparently 2 men, and I'll gesture to the other 2,
Wasn't me.
and 1 woman
Pretty sure it wasn't me either.
came in to his apartment and stole it from him. He is quite the shiner. We're looking for an angry bald man, a spindly man, and a red-headed woman in her 30s.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did Barnaby not just ask us to go get this book from Richard? Is this not a little?
He asked us
beyond
to get the book and said that Richard would have it. He didn't say just get it from him.
I'm just
It's worth-
frowning at Olivia because Olivia's holding back information, but I don't know why, and I'm not gonna like out her because she's a professional, but
Are we gonna head over there now? I mean, what time is it? Is it getting pretty late?
We're looking for an unusual service at the church, so late is probably better. This book does not sound normal. I'm fairly confident that Barnaby was accurate in his assessment of this being one of the stranger pieces of Red Hall. According to Mr. Killman, this book, when you read it, allows you to dream in such a way that you can make changes to reality.
Like a self-help kind of book?
Something like that, yes.
I don't think there's a self-help poetry subgenre.
You don't know.
Okay.
There could be.
I don't know. I would have to defer to Alex on this one. Alex, have you ever seen a book of self-help poetry?
yes.
Oh,
I've read a few at this point.
Are they helping?
I'll leave that for you to decide, Justin.
Justin makes you do a sanity roll.
And that was the end. That was the end of Paul right then and there.
Just that question. Paul just-
Push him over the edge. He's now insane. He's not dead, just insane.
No,
no.
it literally blows his mind.
well.
Well,
let's
do any
sort
of you have anywhere else to be this evening? Would you be comfortable attending a service of some kind, potentially for a cult?
Comfortable? No. Anywhere else to be? Also no.
I can
So
see
I'm
if
in.
I can probably get my shift covered.
Can you imagine Nathan? Like, you can't. You have to come in.
just the
Nathan
secret
role-playing working at a
epilogue.
gas station.
Yeah.
The secret epilogue is just the entire gas station scene.
Yeah.
1 sec, and he fires off a quick text.
So as we're going to the church, I'm just gonna kind of prod a little further. What?
Aren't you alone in your car?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's prodding the radio.
You
He's
know
prodding
what?
the
You said
radio.
east side, and my imagination went apartment, church.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that church. No, but that's a baseball.
Is it,
I don't know
is
what a
it
church
within
is.
walking distance?
Baseball
It's not,
diamond.
no.
Okay.
You can prod a bit before you go, though, if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's waiting for a text to find out if he works anyways, so.
So you say dream and change reality. Did he elaborate on that?
That was simply the implication that I got.
I don't think it was an implication. It was pretty straightforward that he said that. I don't think he was implying anything. He seemed kind of
He didn't-
stoned.
He didn't say it in so many words, but yes, it sounded like the musings of someone who had seen the light, as it were, and followed this Magnus, Barna.
He almost made him sound like a cult leader.
Sounded like Nostradamus, actually. A lot of people read his stuff and they think they can predict the future. I don't blame them. Wouldn't you want to if you could?
But they're not
Aren't there-
predicting the future. They're
Well,
changing reality, supposedly.
and the unusual
Okay.
bit I found really was that he mentioned the author of the book is presently writing it, that he can see what is going on in reality, and that there are poems written about
The reader.
you. I
Yeah,
guess
he
it's
said.
all of us.
Was I correct? He said that it's being written. It's as if it was being written while you're reading it. I don't.
That is what it sounded like, yes.
Well, I know, as absurd as that sounds, it's just too fantastic to be true, but I simply must see it.
I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions about the rest of you, but if there's a book out there that can change my life, I kind of want to find out if it's true too.
Think about it, Alex. A being, a transcended person on the other side, writing a tailor-made poem about you and things you can't see, but he can.
I'm gonna kind of give Olivia a look.
Olivia's
kind
giving
of
you the look back.
Concerned.
Yeah, the look that says, I might go full authority figure on these people, but I'm going to let it go for right now.
He nods in response to that.
And to follow up what I'm saying to Alex, I'm going to be like, just think of the wonders we might discover about Paul.
I'm not that interested in Paul. Like, Paul's a good guy, but I've got some of my own stuff to work out.
Poor
I
Paul.
understand that, but Paul is possibly the most interesting man I've ever met.
You're a serial
I would like
killer.
to paint him in the mood. Greg, good news. Someone can cover you for the night. Do you guys want to go to the church?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll pick it up at the
let's.
church on the next episode. Thank you, everyone who watched. If you like this kind of content, smash that like button. You can also click the bell to be notified when videos go live on our channel. You also can click the bell to be notified when relevant videos to you go live on our channel. That means the YouTube robot will watch you and listen you and determine that, hey, this guy likes Cthulhu and Arkham Horror. We'll only let him know about that and not PBG Jeopardy. So, thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.